We got interrupted. Zoom shut us off, so we're restarting again. Did you have any dissociative disorders that you've been diagnosed with?
The eating disorders came when I was very young. My mother was always too drunk to fix a meal. So when I was finally able to get the refrigerator open and I discovered there was food, I could just stuff it in my mouth. That's what I did. And so the first eating disorder was compulsive overeating. And I was picked on about my weight and sexually abused. And so then I came up with, oh, I can throw it up and I could still eat, I could throw up and exercise and I'd be okay. That didn't last too long. So the weight started still coming. At 17, I became anorexic and I was put in the hospital. I just didn't, I was afraid of food. I didn't want to eat. I was compulsively exercising 3-4 hours a day, 6 days a week, sometimes 7 days a week. So I made a mess. I changed my entire body, my total image, but I didn't change anything that was going on with me personally in my mind. Those 3 eating disorders are with me. But as an adult, I've learned just recently that I have to reparent myself. I have to tell myself that it's not okay to go and gorge on anything. I can do other things. I can color, I can read, I can go for a walk, those kinds of things. It's working very well right now. I'm able to say that I can take care of myself in a better form than I have it before. I'm exercising, but I set it at a limit, the 1 hour limit, so I don't overdo it. But as far as that, it's just a matter of mind thing and reparenting myself is how I'm taking care of my eating disorders now.
What about DID, dissociative disorder?
When I first heard that most people have DID after when they have SRA, I didn't know what it was. And so I started doing some exploration. I started listening to myself and I thought, well, if there's anybody else in there, they're going to come up. I waited for, something else to manifest itself and nothing did. I don't know that, I don't know if that helped me, but judging by what SRAs go through, I met my first SRA survivor when I was in the hospital at 34. And she was so precious to me. We both share the same psychiatrist. But she had told me then that she had over 200. And I thought, wow, that's a lot. But her personalities would come out and they wouldn't scare me. All I would do is just ask her who it was and their age and why they were out. And but I have a lot of compassion for them. At one point, there was a pastor that came with his wife that had severe DID with her SRA, and she wasn't able to function in a normal way at all. She always had to go in the hospital. But I was so blessed that they came to the hospital and talked to us in general. And I got to learn a lot that just by letting them be, it was okay. But I thought, well, maybe I'm very different because I don't have that. And I don't appear to have DID. I think it's been a fascination for psychiatrists too, trying to figure it out. But it's nothing but my own personality.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I think you're the first survivor I've met that way. I thought that was me until about 7 years ago. And then all of a sudden I had a counselor I was with, and she was a doctor of psychology. Sorry, got lost there for a second. And then she noticed in some of my writings, I would switch from I to we. And that's how she found it.
Oh, wow. Lisa.
I'm like, oh, I always thought I didn't. And then all this, because it didn't present for me like it did for other people. So mine is a little more tricky, I think.
I think one psychologist had me start writing journaling. It's like just that, because I would sit with everything inside me and not be able to get it out. So I would just start writing, and it would be the silliest thing for a while, just a list or something, but it's just see what my mind was thinking. But I have yet to have that happen. Maybe the deafness has something to do with it. I don't know. I don't know.
Or
But I've
God
been,
just had a different process for you. He does
yeah,
that.
it is a very different process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you like to say to society?
As an SRA and as a DV victim survivor, is that it's important that you allow survivors to talk about their stories, because they did not create what they were in to themselves and what they lived through. But they are powerful in their own right, because God has made each and every one of us for a purpose. It would be very, very inspirational for me to finally see the church open up and allow people to talk about their stories the real way and not the way they want them said. So if that person is you and you're in the bottomless pit, just remember that you make a difference and your story makes a difference. Just never give up.
What do you say to those who are suicidal right now?
Don't give up. Go connect with a person that can listen to you, that can be with you. Put yourself in a safer zone. I used to take myself to waiting rooms, dressing rooms, where I had a lot of people around me, and there were people not necessarily dressing rooms, but department stores, and just sit there. Just so I was surrounded by people. But it's important that you don't isolate, that you get out and you connect with someone. If nothing else, and you feel okay, go to a church, that's it. And God will be there with you.
That's very wise.
Thank you.
What would you like to say to the church in particular?
There's a lot. People like myself who were forced to talk and were not allowed to use their hands. We're stuck in the sense that we need a church where we can understand what's being said in some form by using an interpreter or captioning. And I feel very stuck in society that way, because I have so many things that I really love. I love hearing music, even though I can't hear the words. I can see the language. And if I can't hear the music, then it makes it more difficult for me. We're making headway with domestic violence. Some churches are starting to open up. Joy Force's team has been doing very, very well with that, but we still have a long way to go. We have an even longer way to go with satanic ritual abuse survivors. Just, if you can not tell us not to tell our story, or tell it in a way that won't be so, I guess, gruesome, then that would be helpful. But to tell us to not say anything because this might be something uncomfortable, it's making us feel like it's our fault. And I was born into it, like many SRAs, if not all. I chose domestic violence because that's what I knew. That type of person is what I knew all my life. And so it just allow us to be us and be able to tell our story in a way that's going to be effective for society to understand.
Do you have a Bible verse that has helped you to stay strong through the years?
Yeah. 2 Peter 1:3-4, His divine power has given me everything I need pertaining to life. And 2 Corinthians 10:3-5, I must take every thought captive. So when I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about negative things, I realize that's not from God, that's from Satan. So I sit down and rewrite what I'm going on in my head, and we put it into a positive form for me to understand and help. And also writing the verses with my name. So Psalm did a lot of talking to me. So Psalm 32, 6 through 11, said, Lynn, I have surround you with songs of deliverance. Explains why I love music. I mean, I just love the sound and the vibration, and I can't explain it. I can't hear the words, but I know when I go to heaven, I'm going to be able to hear all the words, all the songs that I've never been able to hear. Thank you.
I am really excited that you are writing your story because you have a lot of courage, you have a lot of wisdom, and I want you to share that with the world. And so you come back on here when it's done and we will promote your book. And you just keep going, you keep healing, you keep speaking. Your voice is very important, Lynn.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you so much for the courage to come. This is, a big deal. Again, it's breaking programming. They program us to die or kill ourselves if we ever speak. So you coming on here is an act of bravery.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lynn.
Thank you, Lisa, for the opportunity.